our target members at Totally Guitars get a lot of information out of our fly on the wall lessons. Now these are lessons that are shot right here with students of mine, and I put them up every week. We add one or two that are improvised lessons. Most of my lessons are not very planned. They are just let's see where we are and let's see where we need to go and how we can work in some musical knowledge with it. And in this particular one, Kevin came in, asked him what he'd been working on, and said, not too much. And I said, well, what do you want to do? He says, I've been messing with this song called In Nottingham, a song from the Walt Disney Robin Hood movie. It was, of course, not of course, but he was listening to Los Lobos' version of it, and we listened to Roger Miller's version, which was the version that was in the movie, and he worked on figuring out the chords and talked about the relationships of chords 1, 4, and 5, and in particular, how to listen and tell which chord they're on at what time, especially once you figured out what key it's in. So, and then listen for a few other important things. So anyway, this full lesson is up at Totally Guitars as part of the Target program, and here's a little excerpt from it that will show you kind of what we were talking about and what was happening when Kevin was in here just earlier. Well, it was actually, yes, just earlier. And we were working on Not in Nottingham. Take a look, and if you like this kind of stuff, be sure to come visit us at Totally Guitars. Okay, so
that might be it.
So this is a great example of a song that uses just a few chords, all in one key, well, more or less, and some variations on them, but doesn't stray too far. Doesn't use like 6 or 7 chords and go into different keys or anything like that. And so, like, you found the main chords really. What were you using?
A, D, and E.
Yeah. And so let's listen to this one again. And oh wait, actually, yeah, go ahead and dial it up, I guess. No. And what you want to be listening for is when it's going to. So what numbers are those? Obviously.
If it's well, 1, 4, and 5.
Right. Okay. So play an A chord. And okay. So if I do this. Really good. Okay. What we're going to do here is I'll do a couple little things like that are different sequences or series of just those 3 chords. And what you're just trying to listen for is a couple things. One is you should always be able to identify when it comes back to 1 and when it's away from 1. Then the next step is making sure you can tell the difference between 4 and 5. You know, is it, and in this key, now we can't always hear this on recordings as well. When you hear me do it though, it's pretty obvious the difference between D and E because of what you hear in the bass. You know, you hear higher notes on the D chord and lower notes on the E chord, right? But if it was in a different key, here's that same progression in a different key. Hear that? Okay, so that was the same. What you want to be able to hear 1. Ah, that's 4. And if you're not sure if that's 4, when you hear the other one, you can hear, oh, that one is more defined or more final. You hear that? So 5 has a better finish, let's say, than 4.
Okay.
Or better pull back to 1.
Pull back to 1. Okay.
And so here it is in another key that's going to even sound a little But again, the way it sounded in A, when we go to 4. We hear it significantly brighter, higher. And then when we hear 5, we hear the beefiness of E. When here's it in a different key. Now in that case, that was the same progression, but which of those chords seemed like it was the highest sounding?
The leg of your, the last leg of your, what you played there.
Okay, so which chord would that have been? Was it back to 1 or before 1?
It was before 1.
Right. So that would have been what chord? What number?
4.
No, because remember it was going to 4 first.
Oh, so it was, well, then it was 5.
Yeah. So we were hearing 1, 4, 1, and then 1, 5, 1.
Okay. So I guess in my mind I'm thinking that 4 was always going to be higher than 5. That's not always the case.
No, and that's the case in A. But see, here I just did it in G. That's going to make D 5.
Okay.
Okay?